Hi, it's James Harrison here with a hot topic discussion for you. This is going to go into the marching world a little bit, and I'm asked this all the time. Now, first off, I have to give a lot of kudos to the modern marching percussion. The stuff that the drum corps and the WGI groups and a lot of the top-notch high school, college groups are playing is tremendous. It's so above and beyond the basics of what we did when I was a kid. Which was just take the rudiments, maybe flip a few things around. But nowadays, it's so expanded on, and it's unbelievable. The level of the stuff that they're playing is tremendous. Now, that being said, I'm often asked, well, what's the hardest thing to play? Now, if you had asked me in high school, I would have said, oh, the snare or the tenors, because back when I was really young, when I first put tenors on, they were really big drums, and they were heavy. It was fun to play. I thought it was cool to play. I thought maybe it got girls' attentions to play those. But the snare drums were doing the bulk of the playing, not necessarily the bulk of the work. So at that time, I decided to move from tenors to snare and became, like the snare, the section leader, all that kind of stuff. And through most of college, I felt like it was that way, but I felt like the quads came into being and the tenors got smaller, more in front of you as opposed to going in a triangle around you, and the playing got more intricate and whatnot. So the fast track is then the bass drum started popping its head in and playing a lot more melodic bass and fractions of a part and splitting parts. And it became incredibly more of a mind game plus a technique game. So when I talk about it now, I think they all have a certain amount of weight. I think if you twisted my arm and told me I had to pick between like a drum corps, snare, or tenor, I think the tenor is the hardest. I think you throw in the physicality of playing that, having to play in those playing zones, yet play a lot of the same battery proficiency licks that a snare drummer would play, but splitting it over surfaces. I would probably think that might be a little bit harder than the snare. But I do think that the inner workings of having to split divisions instead of being a group of things playing something, the bass drum pops its head in and becomes quite a challenge. So they're all three have a certain amount of weight. I mean, I would say tenor, snare, and bass, in my personal opinion, if somebody twisted my arm. I'm not getting into the front ensemble stuff like that. I'm talking about battery instruments. So that's my take on it now. I feel like the tenor players today, in the modern writing, a lot of the stuff that they're doing is unbelievable. So let's hear what people have to say. Thanks.